Praise be Jesus Christ, the Mary Immaculate. Welcome to this homily for the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time. We're going to read from the Gospel of Luke chapter 16, verses 1 through 13, a very well-known passage of the dishonest steward. The steward in today's Gospel was a hard worker. He was what we call a go-getter. He was one that was always out there trying to gain a profit, always trying to gain something for himself. A go-getter, a hard worker, a creative person. A word I would use, a hustler. He knew how to hustle people. And he knew how to hustle. He hustled his boss. He hustled his boss's friends. He hustled himself. And when his boss discovered that he was laundering money, that he was actually stealing money from him, wasting money for him, he was called to give account of his work. And then he was fired. But the man did not sit back and cry. He didn't sit back and give up. He used his hustling skills, his shrewdness. He thought quickly, he acted boldly, and he worked the system every way he could to secure his future so that he wouldn't be stuck begging or working hard. How did he do this? By reducing the debt of his master's clients. And by doing that, he made friends. So not only was he dishonest, all the friends of the owner were dishonest. He made friends, and he ensured that he would not be left out on the street to beg or to do any kind of hard work. Now, what shocks us is that Jesus actually praises his shrewdness, his cleverness, not his dishonesty, but his ability to act decisively when everything was on the line. The fact that he did not sit back, he got to work and he hustled his way out. That's what Jesus praises. And here's the point. If people hustle so hard to scam people out of money, if people work so hard to scam people, to get an advantage over people for money, for success, or influence, and those things all fade away, how much more should we, children of the light, hustle for the kingdom of God, which lasts forever? Meaning, how can we get so creative like them? How could we work tirelessly? How could we always look for the next best thing for the kingdom of God? Because too often, as Jesus says, the children of the light are slow. They're hesitant in their faith. They want to just sit back with their faith. We delay forgiveness. We put off generosity. We say that we'll get serious about prayer later. But Jesus is telling us there is no later. Not to waste time, to get to work today. The kingdom of God deserves the same urgency, the same creativity and determination that people put into their businesses, their careers, or their investments. The steward hustled to secure his own future on earth. We are called to hustle for our future in heaven. And not only for our future, but for those of our brothers and sisters. Jesus also forces us to face the uncomfortable truth about the place of money in our lives. Money is just a tool, but when it becomes our master, it turns into an idol that demands sacrifices, often at the cost of people's dignity. Just think about what people do for money. Many times selling out their dignity and the dignity of their family and their people. That is why Jesus calls it dishonest wealth. Another way of saying that is filthy rich. It's not that every dollar is evil, but that riches are rarely clean. They come at the cost of someone else. Behind wealth, there is almost always some selfishness, injustice, or lack of generosity. And yet Jesus says, make friends for yourselves with this honest wealth, so that when it fails, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings. In other words, use what is temporary and earthly to build what is eternal. Put money at the service of love today. Put money at the service of the poor today. When we use our resources to feed the hungry, to comfort the sick, to support the poor, and lift up the broken, then we are storing up for ourselves treasures in heaven. Because truly, what we give away is what actually becomes eternal. What we keep is temporary. What we give away becomes eternal. That is why Jesus ends with that powerful warning. You cannot serve both God and mammon. You cannot hustle for both. And at the same point, you have to choose God or mammon, God or money. Questions for us to think about. Do I live for myself or do I live for God? Do I serve possessions or do I trust that the only true, real possession and real treasure is love? Brothers and sisters, the gospel today is a call to urgency. The steward hustled for his survival. Jesus calls us to hustle for the kingdom, to act boldly, and to live generously, and to invest not only on the things of earth, but also in the things of heaven. Because in the end, only love will last, and only what we give away will welcome us into the Father's house, because only love is real. God bless you.